Pull XRP update. What's the huge update? Let's check it out.
Update. This is incredible what is taking place right now in the crypto market, especially XRP, which I think has actually bottomed and we are about to pump massively. Not financial advice, just my...
So yeah, Miles G is calling for the bottom of the XRP price. I feel like this August has been tough for some XRP holders because it's first time for them to see that. But I remember 2021, 2023, August was never that perfect for XRP anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. And also September. But once you wait, you really start to see the changes around October, at least historically speaking, right?
So make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. We have so much to talk about, so much more happening this week.
Smash that like button, guys.
So if we take a look at XRP here, which is absolutely incredible, we can see XRP has already bounced up to $3. So we literally went from 281 today all the way back up very quickly to $3. One of the most bullish coins, and I'm a professional trader. I trade a lot of different coins other than XRP. One of the most bullish coins in every single crash is always XRP. If you look back, every single XRP crash, you can see it always bounces up and rips up, one of the hardest out of all cryptos every single time. And this is such a bullish coin. The reason because it has such a powerful community.
Powerful communities are very profitable today. It's actually what's driving Bitcoin, Ethereum's price is social volume, guys. Remember this word. Social volume is what really rose XRP. Even when Bitcoin was down, for example, XRP went up because we are seeing so much news in crypto and updates. It's what really changes XRP's expectations for people.
It has incredible use case.
Like when they see news every day, when you see news every single day, you start to believe and think about it. And that's why XRP also reached $3 because every day it had something to talk about.
And it is just a strong coin, one of the strongest in the world. So XRP has pulled back into our buy zone. This particular gray area here is my buy zone. This is the most ideal buying opportunity as a trader or investor, and especially if we are looking for continuation to the upside. So XRP, in my opinion, has bottomed. We formed a higher low from this correction. So we've been correcting from almost $4 to $3.70. We've been correcting. We've been pulling back. We bottomed, and we have now...
Now Miles G is saying we're bottoming at 2.73. I feel like if we enter below $2 XRP, we're definitely seeing the start of a bear market because that is when a lot of whales will start to sell. If they bought it at $3, they might take a loss. Like a lot of people will take a loss, and $2 is somehow we will see another rally because a lot of people are saying at $2, you know, they will hold. But we are still far from there. That is why another rally is very likely possible. Like this is still very normal because we are still at the start of this first rally we had back in July 21st. So it is the start of this first rally and we could be going back up. Just that it holds July 21st is still very, very bullish.
Formed a higher low that is considered very bullish, and that is an indication of an uptrend that we're going to be going higher. I think in the next couple of weeks with rate cuts, with peace, with Russia and Ukraine, XRP could be seeing $5 to $6 to $7 in the next couple of months, but in the next couple of weeks we could be even seeing XRP above $4. Things are going to get absolutely crazy. Right now things seem bearish and scary and you should be selling, but this is the time, in my opinion, not financial advice, you should be buying. This is what I'm particularly doing, me and my community. And if you guys want to follow my trades as a professional crypto trader and copy out what I'm doing,
that's what the whales are doing, buying right now. The question isn't, you know, if it's going to go up, because personally I feel like it's going to go up, maybe even to $4. The question here is, when will it stop going up? That's the bigger question I have for XRP. That's the most important question I have for XRP because I'm worried that, you know, a lot of these whales are buying now at $3 and to sell later at 3.5, maybe $4. So yeah, just let that sink in for a second. That's what I've been seeing in the past. Some of the whales might hold until $5. So yeah, still not that bad.
seeing what I'm doing and have my constant market updates and be a part of my profitable trading community, go ahead and join my WAP below. And if you guys want to learn how to trade cryptocurrencies like me full time, go ahead and join the VIP tier. Taking a look also at Bitcoin, we can see Bitcoin has bounced very, very strongly in this buy zone as well. Bitcoin has also formed a higher low. And one thing that's quite interesting, every single time Bitcoin pulls back 10%, it rips up massively. So Bitcoin pulled back 10% prior, and we also see about a 10% pullback here. You see it.
This is the thing I wouldn't agree. We also saw Bitcoin pull back 10% and then ended up losing everything. So you can't trust Bitcoin, but seeing the current scenario, interest rate cuts and everything like that, it is definitely looking very nice for XRP.
10% pullback here, a 10% pullback here. So Bitcoin likes to correct and pull back about 9 to 10% exactly in the number, and then it starts ripping up. So Bitcoin is in that optimal buying zone. You take a look at Ethereum, look at this incredible bounce today. Ethereum has already bounced 8%, and as you can see, every single pullback for Ethereum lately has been 15%. Look, that was 15%, 15%.
It's very obvious some whale bought the $2.7 dip, to be honest. You can see the dip only stayed there for like 1 day. 1 day, it tells you something.
And here, go all the way back here, you can see Ethereum likes to pull back exactly 15% almost every single time on the number, and it starts ripping up. So we are starting to see altcoins come into their technical buy zones, and the numbers that they typically go to, the numbers that they pull back to typically, they're coming into those exact levels right now. So all of this is lining up with confluence that this is a potential bottom. If you take a look at the S&P 500 here, you can see that there has also been a very strong bounce with the S&P 500, with the NASDAQ as well. Very, very strong bounce, but ultimately cryptos, like I told you all last night, and I've been telling you guys for quite some time, they are being manipulated. There's no bad news at all driving the prices.
There's definitely the most positive news I've heard this year. We haven't had one bad indicator except the unemployment rates, which aren't even that bad. Like, didn't we have, the president firing a lot of people and then it immediately bounced back? We had they were saying the tariffs cause inflation. We're still waiting from Jerome Powell to confirm that. So there are some bad events. There are some bad news, but the good news outweighs far beyond the bad news.
The markets are just a little spooked because they were expecting rate cuts to come in September, and some of the data is pointing that might not happen. But if you take a look at the federal funds rate, the CME rate possibilities for the Fed, it's still pricing in, which is a very high number, by the way, 82% chance.
So yeah, it doesn't seem even that we're getting only 25. It seems like we're getting like a 50. So 0.5 is going to be a very strong market indicator
that the Fed is going to be cutting rates by 25 basis points in September. That number was 100% until last week's PPI data. We do have some more data tomorrow, going to most likely be a non-event. Everything should fall in line with expectations. Then we also have Jerome Powell speaking on Friday. So the reason why we've been dumping and crashing is because people are panicking. It's a lot of manipulation. People are profit taking, and they are de-risking ahead of Powell on Friday. They were de-risking ahead of today's FOMC minutes, which did not reveal much of anything.
Sometimes like this politics news really affects the price mostly.
They're just gurgling the same words they say over and over. We're waiting for inflation. We're waiting for this. So the reason why the market has been selling off because people have been de-risking because they think Powell is going to somehow crash the market, which it's not going to happen. There's still CPI next month and a bunch of data sets that's going to most likely confirm this number even higher and potentially even confirm a 50 basis point cut for the month of September, which would be extremely bullish for cryptos. So everything is bouncing. Everything is actually starting to look good. We are still in a bull market. The market is not topped out. The market is not over, and we are nowhere close to a top.
I fully agree. Everything is pointing like the job data, the productivity, all of the news is still figuring out exactly as a plan. Even, guys, mark my words, even if September isn't that good, it's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not every month has to be perfect.
If you take a look at the Pi cycle top indicator for Bitcoin, it's called every single Bitcoin top within 5 days. Every single Bitcoin cycle has called it. that hasn't crossed yet, and it's nowhere near crossing. And when it does cross, I will let you guys know. But it's most likely predicted to cross sometime in October and November, potentially all the way into January. So we still have months left. We still have another massive leg up, in my opinion, for altcoins and for cryptos. And another very interesting thing, guys, I mean, look at Dogecoin. It is absolutely ripping. The Bitcoin dominance chart is literally nuking. This thing is in a strong downtrend. It is crashing very hard. And when the Bitcoin dominance is in a downtrend, I mean, look at this, guys. Look at these crazy, violent rejections on Bitcoin dominance. It is in a very strong downtrend, and it has got some ways to go. When this is happening, altcoins are ripping and outperforming Bitcoin, and we are moving into altcoin season. That's why every single time we crash, Bitcoin bounces up 1%. Altcoins are bouncing 20, 30, 50, 60.
It doesn't really scare me if the institutions and people still keep buying at 120K. It would scare me if XRP was at 10 cents now.
60%. It's absolutely incredible. So it looks like we are going to be heading to this key support here in the Bitcoin dominance, which is 54%. When this is happening, guys, altcoins are going to go absolutely bananas. Now make sure you guys are using my Algo Sniper trading indicator, which you guys.
So yeah, it's pretty clear that the markets are going to improve for XRP, especially if billionaires like Raoul Pal are calling for the next hype run for XRP. Look at this. Raoul